Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to another Daily Masters. It has been entirely too long since we've cast a decent ZvZ game. Well, it's been entirely too long since we've cast a ZvZ game because, I mean, all of the games I cast are decent. They're all very, very decent, so I can't say decent ZvZ game, but we haven't been casting any for quite a while, it feels like. It's been all Protoss and Terran and all that sort of stuff, so yeah, we'll be checking out one now, and it is actually on a pretty huge map, so early pressure from both players. It's going to be a little bit harder, so we're probably going to be seeing some long-term end-game sort of tech going on, and of course that will be awesome. So let's start introducing the players. Up the top left side of the map, we do have hyvaa. I assume hyvaa is the correct way to pronounce it. He is from South Korea, and is currently number 72. On the WCS with 650 points. Did not appear to belong to a team. Actually, it looks like he may be retired, according to this. Let me just have a look when he retired. I do not know. Anyway, it says he's retired. So yes, but we can assume this game was played sometime before he was retired. Or maybe it was a show match, I'm not really sure, but that is hyvaa. And down the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be Leenock. We know a bit about him. We've cast him a couple of times before, I think. He is from South Korea, and he plays for the team for Utopia, FOU, and currently number 47 in the WCS with 1,175 points. So quite a decent player. A very decent player, I should say, and see how he's going to be doing in this game. Both players seem to be going for the hatch before pool build, doing pretty much the same thing. They've got a beautiful concerto of Overlord's movement. You can see a move out to the natural, and then they move straight off, so they're fully expecting a natural to be down. Both players doing the same thing, and they're going to end up totally intersecting to find out where the other ones were. So they've pretty much already guessed where their opponent is going to be. I mean, it's going to be finding out in just a second anyway. So there we go. The Overlord's coming in, sees the opposing Overlord, and instantly he's going to realize, yeah, you know, he's over there instead. So very, very awesome. But yeah, so this guy instantly is going to be shooting upwards because, of course, he knows the main base is no longer over there. And this guy is just going to keep on moving, so I don't know about that. But what have we got going on here? We've actually got 4 lings for Leenock, and he's sending them all the way over to his opponent's base. hyvaa has got 2 lings total. Yep, 2 lings total, and he's sending them over, so obviously just for scouting purposes. But Leenock is definitely going to come off better here because he has sent an additional 2 lings. And he's just going to hit him a few times and then move on because, of course, scouting is a million times more important than actually killing lings at this stage of the game. So, yeah, there we go. Although hyvaa's lings just going to be content to sit at the watchtower for now. But they're going in, whacking a couple of drones, but not stopping long enough to kill them. He wants to get their full scout off just to see exactly what's happening. But not really going to be seeing too much. I don't know if he actually saw this. No, he did not. He did not get far enough in there to see the baling nest. So that is going to be pretty huge, not knowing about the baling nest. And Leenock, man, he probably really, really wishes he saw that baling nest because, yeah. It could be a whole bunch of things that he'd have to expect right now. It could be roaches, could be balings. It could be either one. And he really wanted to know which one it was going to be, but now he is never going to find out. And meanwhile, Leenock's base, he has not actually gone for either option, but the ling speed has popped up. He's got to get a full scout off. There's no way the full scout can be stopped. And now the workers are starting to get attacked, and that is all bad news. We have a look at units lost. Oh, this game is too old. We don't have units lost. Ah, that sucks. But yeah, the couple of workers definitely did go down. We have a look at the income. Yeah, Leenock is behind by a couple of workers, probably lost him, but he just catches straight up again. So both players doing a sensational job, and we do have a Roach Warren coming out for hyvaa, who you've got to remember has already got a baling nest, so he's already set up for his baling tech if he needs it, but now switching into roaches. And meanwhile, Leenock is going for his own bathing nest. Nearly finished it. No roach warren for him yet, but we definitely could see it at some point. He's going for quite a lot of gas though. Oh, very, very nice stopping that guy from getting in there. And yeah, so going double gas over there. He's already got double gas coming in here. So Leenock almost certainly, I would say, with 4 gas going, is going to be going for mutas. He's going to be going for mutaling sort of tech. That's the only thing I can think of that makes sense with this sort of build. So you're going to be interested to see that. And hyvaa, meanwhile, has gone for roach tech. And we all know what happens when roaches face off against mutaling. Basically, the roaches take over the map, do an enormous amount of pressure, and if they're well played, they can almost wipe out Leenock. And then at the very last second, Leenock gets out the mutas and yeah, starts wiping out all the roaches that are currently demolishing his base. So we'll have to see if it works out like that. I'm guessing it will. Oh man, the Queen's going nuts on this Overseer. Looks like it is going to go down. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A couple of Baileys coming in from Leenock as well as Lings. I don't think they're going to do too much, but they are stopping this third base from going down. Or something's stopping this third base from going down. I think it was just this Ling or something. Oh, we'd love to stop that from happening. But I just do not know if he's actually got a large amount of ground forces right there. But with roaches on the field, these Lings are going to be almost useless. He could perhaps run around the roaches, go for that third base. But right now they're just pulling back to try and defend. And here we go, picking up small groups of roaches. They're not too bad, but they're really getting hit by a lot. And you don't want to get hit by the Baileys. A Bailey in your Ling pack is going to be the end of all of your fun, but we will see. I mean, Leenock, he may very well lose this third base. I don't think he can defend it. His Spire is almost out. He's going to have enough for 10 mutas, almost. I don't know if he's got the supply for 10 mutas, but yeah, there we go. 10 mutas coming out. And this base, he's got no hope of saving it. But the mutas, as I said, will come out just in enough time to knock away the roaches. Although the roaches, managed to get the roach trapped in between the broodlings. That is insanely good. But yeah, hyvaa right now, man, he needs to start thinking about how he's going to keep counting the mutas. He does have a couple of spore crawlers all over the place, but I mean, spore crawlers, you're not going to be able to protect your roaches with spore crawlers. He's going to have another option. There we go, a couple of infestors coming out. That is a great counter for the mutalisks. And Leenock is going to have to be very, very worried about getting his mutas hit by those. So he's just going around, destroying a whole bunch of stuff right now. It's a pretty good job. Yeah, look at the spore crawlers going down here. He's going to be very, very well defended. The mutas are going to be going in here and hitting this, which is a really, really great play because, of course, the ricochet damage does hit the drones as well when you do it properly. Now he's going to be moving off, seeing what else he can find. You can probably do the same trick on this thing as well. Queen coming out, the spore crawl actually lifting up. Oh, there's the fungal, catches 4 of them. The other 6 going to be running around trying to do something, but his best choice is just to get the hell out of there because infestors, you do not want to mess around with infestors if you don't have to. And Leenock actually going for a third over here after having lost the I feel like, is this the natural third? I'm not sure. But all the Bailey's actually coming out, but the drones are in a lot of trouble here. The mutas need to get back ASAP if they've got any chance of saving this base. And here they go, the roaches are going to go down, but how many workers will they take out? Have a look at the income. He's currently 65, but that is going to go down a little bit. The roaches are going nuts trying to trace the drones. The drones are trying to zig and zag, and the mutas take so long to destroy the roaches, but eventually he loses about 3 or 4 drones there, and that's not bad. He's still in the lead by a bit, so he should be fine. He should be fine. Yeah, he's going to continue to go for mutas, I assume. He's getting ranged weapons, actually. Maybe he's switching into roaches. That would be interesting. He's got 8 roaches so far. Getting a whole bunch of bases, so Leenock really, really wants to get this macro, crazy macro going. He's going for some infestors of his own. He's going for roaches, deciding that mutas are not going to be the best choice to face off against what hyvaa's got going on. But look at all the lings going. There's just no way to deal with these right now. Just streaming in. All over the place, going straight for the main base. He's going to have to shift all his mutas back to deal with this. And then, of course, that means this massive Roach Hydra army is going to be relatively unmolested. They get all the way back in here, along with the infestors. And Leenock suddenly in a huge amount of trouble, having to deal with this. I mean, with the infestors out in the field, I don't know if he can actually deal. He's got his own infestors. So putting a fungal down on enemy infestors, it's not every day you see that, but we are seeing it right now. And that is absolutely beautiful. So there's just going to see it's going to be a battle of the infested Terrans right here. So we've got a TVT without even realizing it. And the mutas getting shredded so badly, but they eventually are starting to push the army away. And Hiver taking quite a bit of losses and deciding to back out there. He could perhaps have won that, but then again, he was facing a bunch of spine crawlers. So eventually, probably would have got whittled down. And Leenock went for 19 roaches right there. So doing a fantastic job of keeping his army up, although he's just now evened the roach numbers of Hiver. So Hiver already had a ton of roaches, and he's even got 13 hydras there, and those are really going to make a difference. But he did lose a ton of infestors there, down to 1, and Leenock meanwhile up to 4. Trying to push forward, but oh man, Leenock, you got to be prepared for this. He is not prepared at all. Couple of spine crawlers coming in, but his army is out of position. His roaches, actually, he's sending his roaches forward. Is he just sacrificing this base? I feel like he's just sacrificing this base, going for Hiver's base. Maybe he's decided he cannot beat this army, so he's just going to do for a base race or something like that. I'm not sure this is the best idea, but he will be able to take this base out if he decides to. And yeah, there we go. This base got completely owned. Couple of drones burrowing, managing to survive, and meanwhile he's pushing in here, but Hiver with some decent defenses, decent roach reinforcements, and I feel like this was not a good decision by Leenock to push in there, because he's trading his army right now against Hiver. He's getting a bunch of he's sort of winning there, but the reinforcements are buying Hiver enough time to get his main army back there, and these roaches are not going to be able to do nearly as much damage as Hiver did on the other side of the board. So all in all, Leenock, I feel like you should have defended your base instead of trying to trade off, going for another base. But here we go, the Overseer coming out, and they all go down. So not good, and Hiver, I feel like he's definitely got the advantage at this point of the game, man. Look, he's 198 over 141. Have a look at the income, is 10 workers ahead. And Leenock, man, is going to need a miracle to pull out of this, because I definitely think he's in a very bad way at the moment. So we will have to see. The roach is coming down. They maybe go for the third. Going to be forcing Hiver's army to pull back. That's not a bad play at all. But I don't know. Hiver may just go in and just say, screw it, I'm going to take everything out. No, he's going to fall back. So very nice play by Leenock. Buying himself time there. All he's doing is buying himself time. He's going to send these roaches out to the main. He feels like this one is going to go down, no worries. So these guys going out to the main, getting past the spine crawler, sorry. But a fungal going to be taking a lot of his forces out. He is going for drones right there though, and he's doing a pretty good job at taking out the drones actually. So he's starting to get an advantage now, down to 36. And those roaches, man, did a fantastic job. They killed a lot of drones there. They killed a lot of drones here actually. And Hiver, man, he didn't have any reinforcements pumping out that could really deal with that. So he did manage to take out Leenock's third base right there, but Leenock pushed out with his own forces, managed to sort of kill that small force that Hiver used to take out the third base. And now Leenock suddenly is looking like he's in a much better position than he was just a couple of minutes ago. Those roach attacks, man, did a fantastic job, and Hiver just did a horrible job of really knocking it back. And the reason why, I gotta think, is because he was maxed out. He was moving his maxed out army across the map. Because he was maxed out, he was not able to build any more units, and so he didn't have any reinforcements just sitting around in his base, waiting, doing nothing. And so the roaches that ended up in Hiver's base just had free reign. There was no reinforcement advantage for Hiver because he was maxed out. He couldn't build anything, so he had no way of defending that without moving his main army back. And he took so much damage, so much worker loss in that. He lost one base. He almost lost the other base. It was awesome, and it actually worked out to Leenock's favor that Hyvaa was capped out at 200. So that's incredible. It's the first time I've ever seen being maxed out as a disadvantage, but there you go. It was a definite disadvantage, but man, Leenock, get on your map awareness, dude. You got roaches. Why the hell are you not defending this? Oh man, he just fell asleep at the wheel right there. He's obviously trying to micro these roaches or something like that, but it's going to cost him his hatchery. And man, what a mistake right there. That's a pretty massive mistake actually, because he needs his third base right now. He really does, and he lost it. There's a stupid reason. He just wasn't paying attention. That's it. He wasn't paying attention, and he lost him his third base. So mistakes like that are going to be the ones that end up losing him the game. Instead, he started to mess around with his roaches there, but he lost the third base. And look at this. He's on 10 minerals. He's actually got his expansions out, but he's now on 50 minerals. And if these get wiped out, he is going to be in a lot of trouble. Income-wise, he's already in a lot of trouble. He's 320 under 840. That's bad. So he's got a decent amount of forces, but if Hyvaa starts trading out, then it's going to be horrible. So the Leenock doing a great job at keeping Hyvaa defensively minded with these mutas right here. Oh, catching 3 of them, and these 3 are not going to make it home. 1 Hydra remains, still chasing this Overseer around, still trying to do some stuff. But Hyvaa, man, I mean, for 4 mutas, you do not want to send your entire army home. It's just not worth it at all. And Leenock is using this to his advantage, using the fact that Hyvaa is playing defensively minded. He's going to move back his main force to take out a relatively small force. I mean, we have a look over here. We can see another small force. They're going to move out. They're going to probably attack the main base just to try and pull Hyvaa back at a good point. And this muta actually doing a great job of just sniping out overlords all over the place. It doesn't really matter because he's going to be totally capped. But look at these guys. They're moving back once again. And Leenock once again getting the time he needs to rebuild. He did somehow lost this base. I feel like these roaches just came in and just started owning it, which is definitely not good at all. Definitely not good. Leenock is doing a horrible job of protecting this base. But look at this one muta, man. The entire army just going nuts after that one muta. And man, oh 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 man. Here we go. Leenock actually thinking about moving out. What do we got for upgrades? We got 2-1 there. We got 2-1 there. Dude, did we just see, yeah, level 2 armor just came out for Hyvaa, so he's got that advantage going down. He's got a bunch of infestors going out as well. His income is still looking pretty good. Leenock's starting to, he's pretty much evened it out actually. They're pretty much evened out. Look at all those infested terrans though, man. Hyvaa's a ton of infestors, 21, although Leenock has 19 as well, so massive, massive amount of infestors for both players, and they're just going to be dodging each other's infested terrans for so long. Absolutely insane amount of time. Oh, look at all those infestors, man. But he's going for the third base. Hyvaa knows exactly where the weak point is. These roaches coming in. Leenock moving most of his forces to take him out. And the infestors are not full, though. They're going to be going for this base. Chucking out an infested terran of their own just to get the high ground advantage. Actually managed to get a fungal on the infestor. But the roaches doing a beautiful job taking that base out. Hyvaa, man, this game has done a fantastic job of keeping Leenock's economy under control. But oh, look at this. Hyvaa doing a great job putting the fungals down, putting the infested terrans down. Both players, this is going to be absolutely insane right now. Look at all the infested terrans, all the fungal roaches, everything is going to get destroyed here, man. It's just going to be absolutely insane. Actually starting to run out of infested terrans from Leenock. He's got a few, but oh man, it's still going strong. Most of the roaches have died here. In fact, I think all of the roaches have died. And meanwhile, look at this. Leenock going in with a bunch of roaches in here. Going to be attacking. There's still some reinforcing infestors over there. Trying to defend against. Most of these infestors have survived. Most of these infestors have survived. But Leenock still with the very, very decent amount of roaches. Pushing in here. Doing a great job. And yeah, he can take out this base quite easily. He's just going for drones at the moment though, which is very, very nice. Although it looks like Leenock lost a ton of workers in his own third as well. And here comes the main base of Hyvaa, but here comes the Infestors for Leenock. So once again, massive engagement. The third base does go down. A bunch of Broodlies coming out, and the Infested Terrans going to work on the Roach army of Leenock. And both players, it's so even at the moment, so even. And look at this, burrowed Roaches under both of the third base places for Leenock. So he is not having a very good day. But I still think Hyvaa is ahead. He's got his third base up. He excuse me. He doesn't have a huge amount of workers though, that's the only thing. But I mean, 6 more workers is all he needs to build, and then it'll be evened up. So we'll not be surprised to see him starting to just bump out some drones very, very quickly, because meanwhile Leenock could not actually afford to build a third base, so he just got a long distance mine for a little bit. Oh, the Infestor comes out, just manages to fungal on all of those guys. Really, really nasty. So the Infestors just doing everything they can to sort of screw over the entire game for everybody, but these Roach Bears just keeps popping up and knocking off the long distance miners. He's down to 16, and here we go. Roach is coming out. Sword tries to burrow, doesn't quite have it. Another Roach actually burrowing over there, or just running in or something like that, I'm not sure. I think they tried to send a swarm of Roaches in. Didn't really work, but yeah, what can you do? Here we go. Another Infestor actually going down. Oh, gets a fungal off on the Roaches. Very, very nice. So nobody's got any income left. Nobody's got any minerals or gas left. So they're just doing guerrilla warfare with the Roaches and the Infestors. It's like one of those cheesy C-grade movies where there's monsters just burrowing around underneath the ground and just coming up and wreaking havoc. I can't remember what the name of the movie is, but they made like 6 of the damn things. And yeah, so it's all underground tech. Look at that. Every single Roach hit it at once, and it just absolutely got annihilated. But another fungal did get off. And what have we got? Let's have a look at the unit cap. So we got 20 versus 17. 16 versus 17. Versus 16, sorry, on the Infestors. And it's pretty much even up. It's pretty much exactly even. All these Overlords coming out. Quite insane, but of course Leenock has no easy way of destroying them. Bunch of Infestors coming over here. Sees the base coming down. Sees the Spawn Crawlers coming down. Oh, a bunch of Swarm Eggs. They are going to start shredding everything, man. All the workers starting to go down, but the workers burrow, and the Spine Crawler is going to start getting taken out. But Roach has actually come back to start knocking these guys out. Very nice job. And the third base is down for Leenock, and he managed to keep his Spine Crawlers alive as well. Managed to keep most of his workers alive. And now we're going to see if he can start to pull back in this game. And army-wise, he's doing alright, but I think Hyvaa has had the better economy for a while, just because he's kept that third base alive. So Hyvaa's managed to build up a bit more Roaches, and we will see. Oh, beautiful fungals coming down, and here we go. Infested Terrans once again coming out. It's going to be Infested Terrans versus... It's actually fungling the Infested Terrans. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. But Leenock actually letting a lot of his Roaches go down here while his Infestors hang back. But here we go. The Infested Terrans coming out in droves, and Hyvaa instantly retreats. He does not want to be facing that many Infested Terrans. And why would you? Look at this. Another bunch of Roaches coming in here trying to do something. But Hyvaa, very, very smart. Has about 5 or 6 Roaches right back there, just defending. And it's a great play. And right now, Hyvaa looks like he's taken an advantage in this game. He does have 28 versus 10 Roaches. Infested numbers have not really changed that much. But the Roach advantage that Hyvaa has built himself, starting to look very good. Oh, the Overlord's just not in a good position. This one does get taken down. He's like, why couldn't you research Overlord speed? It's only like 100 minerals of gas, you lazy, cheap bastard. And yeah, did not work out. But it's actually funny because Overlord's just everywhere and nobody's been able to kill him because nobody's got any anti-air. I mean, Infested Terrans, basically the only way, but you probably want to save your energy. Here we go, the Lynx coming out, seeing the main army. Beautiful job by Leenock to do a bit of scouting over there without having to risk like an overseer or something like that. Now look at the income. Hyvaa has started to build up his harvester count again. He's starting to look okay in terms of the income. Oh, another Infestor going down. The infestors have been doing a great job just jumping into Leenock's base, causing all sorts of havoc. And meanwhile, Leenock has just been sending roaches constantly into his opponent's base. And I don't know if he can force this to cancel. The Hiver's army is right on his heels. So I don't think he can force it to cancel. I think these roaches are going to go down, but they get burrowed. The Overseer is already on the way though, so this burrow is not going to last very long. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, so both players pretty much just on the edge of defeat right here. I don't know how both players could be on the edge of defeat because they seem to be. I mean, Hiver has got an advantage here. He's starting to build the advantage actually. He's now got 7 Hydras to complement his 28 Roaches. And the only funky thing is that Leenock has 7 more Infestors than Hiver does. So Hiver, with all these guerrilla tactics, has started to lose a fair amount of Infestors. And this is going to start to add up because, I mean, Roach Hydra aside, Infestors with a lot of fungal can do a lot of damage. And, I mean, if the Infestor play is spot on, I think Leenock can still win this, even with the amount of units that he is behind. Like, it's 12 Roaches and Hydra count, his Hydra count is non-existent versus 11 from Hiver, so that definitely could be quite insane. I mean, if the Infestors aren't effectual at all, then Leenock is going down because he doesn't have the army to defend against Hiver. But yeah, I just do not know. I just do not know. Both players playing fairly cautiously at the moment. Both players trying to secure a 4th base for the millionth time in a row. But I'm just waiting for Hiver to say, you know what, I'm going in full bore, let's just take this out. And it does look like a major amount of roaches coming in here, but a spawnling, a little diddly doodly thing over there, did see the roach army coming in. So Leenock's going to be moving a fair amount of his forces over there, but he's still keeping a decent amount over there, so he definitely does not want to lose any bases. And you can see here, Hiver, after being seen there, instantly sends all his forces over to the other side. And Leenock, great job keeping his roaches over there. So he's not going to get surprised either way. And Hiver eventually chooses to back down. He must have had another changeling come over and see his army over there. He's going for the main one again. So constantly going to and fro and to and fro. And Leenock, man, he's the problem is, to defend both bases, he's spread his army out pretty thin. Most of them over here, and not that many over there. I feel like the forces over there would get owned pretty easily, although Infested Terrans, if he just blasts a whole bunch of Infested Terrans all over the place, could buy him enough time to move the rest of his army over there, which is definitely a good option. So, yeah. Hiver, man, he cannot make up his mind which one he wants to go for. The problem is, every time he goes for one, just, oh man, look at this. Leenock just his Overseer city over here. The Hydras, are they going to take out the Overseer? Yes, they are. So that is brilliant. And here we go. A bunch of Infested Terrans trying to take out the other Overseer. But it is on the high ground now. So that's one Overseer going down. And another one comes back up to reinforce it. So Leenock doing a great job, keeping an eye on both his 3rd and his 4th bases. We have a look at the income. And we're 44 over 38. So both players have got themselves back up to a reasonable amount of income. Not extremely high like at the start of the game. Well, how high did they get at the start of the game? I can't really remember. But yeah, they were pretty high, and now they're sort of at the mid-range of income again, which is fairly good because, I mean, they're only mining off 2 bases, so 2 bases, 45 workers. This is a pretty decent number, but Leenock still going for a ton of roaches. Hiver has switched over to Swarm Host Tech, which is, of course, very, very dodgy of him, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's sieging up right now. He's basically on a siege tech route, so I mean, Swarm Hosts are a great siege unit. You can just play him in front of there. You can start to hit both bases at the same time with Swarm Hosts. He says 3 Swarm Hosts for 1. He's actually going for both at the same time. A bunch of Infestors doing a bunch of Infested Terrans over here. Fungal, going to be hitting these guys. And Fungal is important not just because it attacks them, but because it stops them moving. You do not want these guys moving closer to your base because that's just bad news. So his main army holding off one attack. And the other one just, look at this, fungal growth, putting down a couple of infested terrans of his own, just enough to take out the enemy infested terrans. And there we go, managing to hold off both bases. So you got enough infestors, man, you just build your own army instantly. And there it is, it's beautiful. So where are the swarm hosts though? 8, he's managed to build 8 so far. And they're all over here, so he's going to start to move them out. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. So all of his bases are, yeah, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Here we go. Here comes the swarm host. And now, I don't know if he's going to be attacking one base totally, or if he's going to start attacking 2 at a time. Looks like he's sending all of his forces down to this base. The roaches coming out are going to see it. Instantly, all of the forces for Leenock should be going over and defending this base, but no, he's still leaving a bunch over there. Yeah, interesting. Here we go. The Locust starting to come out from Hiver, but instantly he's moving all of his swarm hosts over to the other base. So he's trying to be a bit tricky, sending Locusts from all different directions. Manages to hold off there quite easily, but another swarm of Locusts coming out. And fungal on the Locust, man, is that something we're going to be seeing? There it is right there. And the Locusts, of course, they're only good when they're moving around. If they're not moving around, they can't hit anything. And man, Hiver is going to be hitting every single direction all at once, or at least trying to. And here we go, a bunch of roaches coming in. They're going to be taken out. Leenock has got an extremely massive roach army right here. It's 40 over 20. And his infestor count is 25 over 15. But the Locusts really add another dimension to here. And it's not a dimension that Leenock is going to be enjoying too much. So he's got to somehow find a way past the Locust to attack the main army of Hiver. But he's going to lose so many roaches trying to do it. And Hiver is just going to be dancing around, popping down Locusts everywhere. Infested Terrans coming back just to sort of say, Leenock, you're not getting anywhere near my army, man. It's not going to happen. And he's just going to keep putting the pressure on. Oh, what a beautiful fungal right there. Absolutely insanely good right there. And the Locust all going down. So great job. Fungal was actually really, really impressive versus the Locusts. Quite impressed with that. But the main army coming over here, the Roach Hydra, while the Locusts start to come into this base. Oh, they're actually going for the infestors, man. That's just not good. And it's just forces go every roach is actually breaking out of the main pack. Probably going to be attacking Hiver's 5th base or something like that. I'm not sure. Another engagement over there. We got fungals on the roaches. If Hiver can keep this going, then it is going to be insane. But we've got some own fungals over here. It's going to be putting down some infested terrans. Can these forces stay alive? It does not look like it. The main Roach Hydra force is coming in there. And Leenock just lost so many roaches, but moving his own roach force in there, he's got to try and pull Hiver's forces back, but I don't think it's going to happen. Roach Hydra's breaking through into there. The infestors trying to hold back, but the Locust just putting so much pressure down. And I think Leenock still has 32 roaches. Where are all these roaches? Some of them are hiding down there. Some of them are hiding down there. All these roaches are hiding. They do not want to come out. And look at this amount of Locusts, man. He cannot even risk pulling his infestors out of the ground. But we got an Overseer coming up, and the Locusts start to go to work on the infestors. And Leenock on the edge of defeat right now. I don't see how he can possibly win. He's trying to do some economic damage here. It's not working all that well, and I think Hiver is beyond the point where economic damage is phasing him. He's just going nuts. A lot of Hiver's ground forces actually die here to the infested terrans, but no, even with that large amount, they just go down so fast to the Roach Hydra from Hiver. He's taken out the 4th base. He's going to start taking out the 3rd base now, and Leenock finally gives the GG after that very long, very hard-fought game. It's the craziest use of Roach Infestor I have ever seen in this game, but it was so entertaining. So entertaining. And finally, Hiver defeats Leenock. Leenock just having to give the GG, and I gotta be honest, I thought Leenock was the favoured player right from the start, but Hiver taking it back, doing a great job, and in the end, made the win. So the Swarm hosts were just enough to tip the favour over into his advantage, and the fact was, Hiver kept the pressure on the entire game. Leenock, he sent out Roach patrols to attack Hiver's base, and that was good, but as far as main army was concerned, I don't think Leenock ever really got close to attacking Hiver's main army, but Hiver constantly had his main army over in Leenock's side of the map, constantly over there, constantly doing damage. So that was really, really awesome. And yeah, that's it. That has been this game. It's a long one, but it was an awesome one. And thank you very much for watching it. Stay tuned tomorrow for another one. I'm not sure when this is going to go up. Yeah, but it's I believe it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. For Australians at least watching this. And South Koreans, I think they're in the same time zone. So yeah. Yeah, so Christmas Eve tomorrow. So we're going to keep casting Daily Masters all through Christmas. It is going to be awesome. So stay tuned. This has been Harry Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.